Marie Antoinette died in 1793. More than 2 centuries later, she remains one of the most famous women in history. Mention her name and people immediately think of Versailles. The gowns, the hairstyles, the diamonds, the scandal. But that version of Marie Antoinette is only part of the story, because behind the portraits and the legends was a woman with favorite perfumes, favorite accessories, favorite drinks, and favorite fashions. Small things, ordinary things, the kinds of objects people actually lived with every day. We spent a long time digging through portraits, letters, inventories, and records from Versailles to find the items Marie Antoinette genuinely loved. And what we found is surprising, because many of them never disappeared. You can still wear them, you can still collect them, you can still buy them today. What you're about to see isn't the queen people think they know. It's the woman revealed through the things she loved. And maybe the most personal of all, Marie Antoinette owned some of the most valuable jewels in Europe, but one of her favorite luxuries couldn't be locked inside a vault: perfume. Not a diamond, not a crown, a fragrance. Much of her life, Marie Antoinette worked with a perfumer named Jean-Louis Fargeon. Among the many people who served the queen at Versailles, he held a unique position. His job was simple: make Marie Antoinette smell unforgettable. According to historical accounts, the queen favored light floral fragrances featuring notes such as rose, jasmine, orange blossom, and violet. The scents were elegant, feminine, refined, a perfect match for the image she wanted to project at court. Perfume wasn't unusual at Versailles. Nearly everyone wore it, but Marie Antoinette's love of fragrance became so well known that stories about her favorite perfumes survived long after the monarchy disappeared, even after the French Revolution, even after Versailles fell silent. What makes the story remarkable is that modern perfume makers have attempted to bring those fragrances back to life. One of the best known examples is Black Jade, a perfume inspired by formulas associated with Marie Antoinette and her personal collection. The fragrance is still sold today. Luxury perfume retailers continue to offer it to customers around the world. Number 2, Chemise à la Reine. The straw hat surprised people. The dress shocked them. In 1783, a portrait of Marie Antoinette appeared that caused an uproar across France. Not because of what she was wearing, but because of what she wasn't. No heavy court gown, no elaborate royal dress, no jewels covering every inch of fabric. Instead, the queen appeared in a simple white muslin dress known today as a chemise à la reine. We know this because the portrait still survives and remains one of the most famous images of Marie Antoinette ever created. To many people, at the time, the dress looked more like underwear than royal fashion. Critics were horrified. Supporters loved it. Either way, everyone talked about it. The remarkable thing is that the dress helped change fashion. Almost overnight, women across Europe began embracing lighter, more natural clothing inspired by the queen's look. More than 2 centuries later, the style is still alive. Historical reproduction companies, cottagecore fashion brands, and specialty dressmakers continue to sell versions inspired by the chemise à la reine. Number 3, straw hats. Marie Antoinette spent much of her life surrounded by luxury: gold, silk, jewels, everything a queen could want. Which is what makes the next item so surprising: a straw hat. We know this because it appears in some of the most famous images associated with her later years, particularly those connected to her private retreat at the Petit Trianon. Away from the formal ceremonies of Versailles, Marie Antoinette developed a fascination with a simpler countryside style. The look shocked some members of the French court. After all, this was the Queen of France, yet she was dressing more like a shepherdess than a monarch. The straw hat became one of the symbols of that image, almost ordinary, at least by royal standards. The remarkable thing is that the style never disappeared. Straw hats remain one of the most popular fashion accessories in the world, especially during spring and summer. Luxury fashion houses, milliners, and independent artisans continue to produce them in countless styles. Number 4, feather hair accessories. Before people noticed the dress, they noticed the hair. Marie Antoinette became famous for some of the most extravagant hairstyles in history. We know this because her towering hairstyles appear repeatedly in portraits, fashion illustrations, and accounts written by people who saw them in person. Rose several feet above the head. Others were decorated with ribbons, jewels, flowers, and feathers. Lots of feathers. Ostrich feathers became especially fashionable during her reign. The trend grew so popular that aristocratic women across France began copying the look. just as they copied so many other fashions associated with the queen. The bigger the hairstyle, the greater the statement, at least at Versailles. The remarkable thing is that feather accessories never disappeared. Today, ostrich feathers remain popular in luxury fashion, bridal wear, fascinators, costume design, and formal events. Many milliners still use them for the same reason people used them in the 18th century. They attract attention immediately. Prices range from inexpensive decorative pieces to handcrafted luxury accessories costing hundreds of dollars. The trend has become smaller. The impact hasn't. Number 5. Pearl necklaces. Some queens are remembered by their crowns. Marie Antoinette was remembered by her pearls. Look through her most famous portraits and you'll notice them everywhere. Around her neck, woven into her hairstyles, attached to gowns and accessories throughout Versailles. The pearls became one of the signatures of her image. Elegant, refined, timeless, exactly the qualities the queen wanted to project. In the 18th century, fine pearls were among the most expensive luxury items in Europe, and Marie Antoinette seemed to wear them whenever she could. The remarkable thing is that pearl necklaces never went out of fashion. Today, jewelers around the world still sell pearl necklaces in styles remarkably similar to those seen in her portraits. And pearls weren't the only accessories she helped make fashionable. There were also ribbons. Number 6. Silk ribbons. Pearls may have been one of Marie Antoinette's favorite accessories. Ribbons were everywhere. Look closely at portraits from her time at Versailles, and you'll start to notice them. In her hair, on her dresses, around hats, attached to sleeves, shoes, and gowns. The queen seemed unable to get enough of them. Part of the appeal was simple. Ribbons could transform an outfit without changing the outfit itself. A different color, a different arrangement, a completely different look. And when Marie Antoinette embraced the fashion trend, the rest of the French nobility usually followed. Before long, ribbons became one of the defining features of aristocratic fashion in 18th century France. The remarkable thing is that they never disappeared. Today, silk ribbons are still used in fashion, weddings, gift wrapping, millinery, and luxury clothing. They remain one of the simplest ways to add a touch of elegance to an outfit. Prices range from just a few dollars for basic ribbons to considerably more for luxury silk versions. And if Marie Antoinette understood anything, it was how to stand out. Of course, one accessory appeared just as often at Versailles: a fan, hand fans. Before smartphones, there was the fan. And at Versailles, almost every fashionable woman carried one, including Marie Antoinette. The fan was more than an accessory. It was part of court life, used during ceremonies, used at parties, used during long evenings inside the palace, and sometimes simply used to stay cool beneath layers of silk and lace. Marie Antoinette owned numerous fans throughout her life, many decorated with painted scenes, gold details, and intricate craftsmanship. The more elaborate the fan, the greater the impression it made, which made it a perfect accessory for Versailles. The remarkable thing is that hand fans never disappeared. One of the companies most closely associated with luxury fans today is Du Bellroy. Founded in Paris in 1827, the company has spent nearly 2 centuries producing handcrafted fans for clients around the world. And while fans helped complete Marie Antoinette's look, the next item helped protect it: gloves. The gloves were almost a necessity. Look through portraits of 18th century European nobility and you'll notice them everywhere. And Marie Antoinette was no exception. We know this because gloves appear repeatedly in royal portraits and fashion records from the period. For aristocratic women, gloves were a symbol of elegance. They completed an outfit, much like a handbag or a piece of jewelry would today. The finest examples were often made from silk, kid leather, or other luxury materials available only to the wealthy. At Versailles, appearance mattered. Every detail mattered, and gloves became part of the carefully constructed image expected of a queen. Remarkable thing is that they never went out of fashion. Luxury glove makers still produce elegant evening gloves today, while shorter styles remain a staple of formal events, weddings, and ceremonies around the world. Number 9. Roses. Marie Antoinette loved fashion. She also loved flowers, especially roses. Walk through the story of her life and they seem to appear everywhere. In portraits, in gardens, in the decorative designs that surrounded her at Versailles. We know this because roses were repeatedly mentioned in descriptions of the Queen's private gardens at the Petit Trianon, the estate she used as an escape from formal court life. Away from the ceremonies and expectations of Versailles, Marie Antoinette spent time cultivating a more natural world, and roses became part of that vision. The flower suited her image perfectly. Elegant, beautiful, unmistakably French. The remarkable thing is that many historic rose varieties linked to 18th century French gardens are still available today. Companies such as David Austin Roses and other specialist rose growers continue to sell heirloom and old garden rose varieties inspired by the kinds of flowers admired during Marie Antoinette's era. Of course, flowers weren't the only beautiful objects she collected. She also had a weakness for porcelain. Flowers filled Marie Antoinette's gardens. Porcelain filled her tables, and in 18th century France, few luxury items were more desirable. Not gold, not silver, porcelain. We know this because surviving inventories from Versailles show that fine porcelain was a regular part of royal life, and Marie Antoinette became closely associated with some of the finest examples produced in France. The name that appears again and again is Sèvres. Founded in the 18th century, the manufacturer became the most prestigious porcelain maker in France and enjoyed royal patronage throughout Marie Antoinette's lifetime. Its pieces were famous for their craftsmanship, colors, and elaborate decoration. Exactly the sort of luxury that belonged at Versailles. The remarkable thing is that Sèvres never disappeared. The company still exists today, producing luxury porcelain for collectors around the world. Tea services, dinner sets, decorative pieces, many made using techniques that trace their roots back centuries. Prices vary enormously. Some pieces cost hundreds of dollars, others cost thousands. Number 11, writing sets. Writing was one of her daily habits. Long before emails, long before text messages, there were letters, and Marie Antoinette wrote a lot of them. We know this because hundreds of her letters still survive today, giving historians a rare glimpse into her private life. Friends, family, political allies, trusted confidants, many of the most important moments of her life were recorded with pen and paper, which meant a writing desk was more than furniture. It was a necessity. The Queen owned elegant writing sets and desks suited to the luxury of Versailles, often decorated with fine woods, gilded details, and exceptional craftsmanship. And while letters helped preserve her words, another item helped preserve her sense of time: a clock. Decorative clocks. Letters captured Marie Antoinette's thoughts. Clocks captured her time, and few people in 18th century Europe had access to finer examples. We know this because surviving records from Versailles show that Marie Antoinette owned numerous decorative clocks, many created by some of the most skilled craftsmen in France. These weren't ordinary household clocks, they were works of art, covered in gilt bronze, decorated with marble, designed to be admired as much as used. At Versailles, a clock wasn't simply a way to tell the time, it was a statement, a display of taste, a display of wealth, and Marie Antoinette lived in a world where both mattered. The remarkable thing is that many of these designs survived. Luxury furniture makers and antique dealers still sell French mantel clocks inspired by the same 18th century styles that decorated royal residences. Some reproductions are relatively affordable. Original antiques can sell for thousands, or much more. Purpose remains unchanged. Number 13, wicker baskets. The garden offered something more, an escape. When Marie Antoinette wanted to get away from the rigid ceremonies of Versailles, she often retreated to the grounds of Petit Trianon. There, she embraced a version of country life that fascinated her. And one object appears again and again in paintings, illustrations, and descriptions connected to that world. A wicker basket. Not a jewel, not a crown, not a royal treasure. A basket. The accessory became closely associated with the pastoral style Marie Antoinette helped popularize during her later years. Simple dresses, straw hats, flowers, and woven baskets carried through the gardens. The look was intended to feel natural, relaxed, far removed from the formal image of a queen. The remarkable thing is that wicker baskets never went out of fashion. Today, they remain a staple of summer fashion, cottagecore aesthetics, and countryside-inspired wardrobes. Luxury brands sell them. Artisans sell them. Local markets sell them. Number 14, silk shoes. The wicker basket helped create the image. The shoes completed it. Marie Antoinette loved fashion, and that included her footwear. We know this because several pairs of her shoes survive today in museum collections, giving historians a rare look at what the queen actually wore. The first thing most people notice is how small they are. The second is how elegant they are: silk, embroidery, delicate colors, made to be admired as much as worn. These were not practical shoes, they were court shoes, designed for the highly formal world of Versailles, where appearance mattered and every detail was noticed. The remarkable thing is that the style never completely disappeared. Today, historical reproduction companies continue to make 18th century shoes inspired by those worn by Marie Antoinette. Luxury designers also regularly borrow elements from the period, including silk fabrics, decorative bows, and ornate embellishments. Prices vary widely. Simple reproductions can cost under $100. Handcrafted versions can cost much more. Number 15, rose water. Perfume may have been Marie Antoinette's signature scent, but fragrance wasn't the only beauty product she used. There was also rose water. Long before modern skincare products filled store shelves, rose water was one of Europe's most popular beauty treatments, and few places embraced it more enthusiastically than the French court. We know this because beauty guides, household records, and accounts from the period frequently mention rose water as part of aristocratic grooming and beauty routines. The appeal was obvious, it smelled wonderful, it felt refreshing, and it was associated with elegance and refinement. Two qualities Marie Antoinette cared deeply about. Rose was one of the most fashionable scents of the 18th century. It appeared in perfumes, cosmetics, bath products, and personal care rituals throughout Versailles. For aristocratic women, rose water became a simple way to add a touch of luxury to everyday life. The remarkable thing is that it never disappeared. Today, rose water remains one of the most widely used beauty products in the world.